Let's look at how passages work here in the caverns. So our definition of passages are any of these sort of narrow tunnels that are connecting larger rooms and the like. So I built out a little something here just to show you what is potential. We're going to tear it apart, show you what the pieces are, and then build a bunch of other stuff. So let's get this out of here. Ooh, don't want to lose the bean slayer. Oh. All right, so our core pieces are 3 simple pieces. We have a straight passage. What defines our general passage is that they're 2 inches wide inside, and then the walls are on outside of that 2 inches. So there's 4 playable squares in there. Versus our floor, our general, if you made a passage with our regular wall piece, they would be a total of 4 inches wide with 2 full squares and then half squares on either side. So passage is not quite as wide as 2 walls together. So we've got the straight passage. These will have anchor magnets on the bottom. This 45-degree passage, which is probably my favorite passage piece because it just does so much for your builds. This thing, you can see the grid in there. It's a curved grid, so we've got 1, 2 squares here and 1, 2, 3 squares there. This will have an anchor magnet on the bottom and some white stick. And same thing, walls on the outside. And then we have this dead end piece, which is cut out like a horseshoe, so you can slide in any 2x2 floor that you want. So you could put in a trapdoor or something, whatnot. So generally you just slap these things together, boom, you've got a passage. What's fun about these 45-degree pieces is you can use them, 2 of them together, make a 90-degree turn. You can turn them opposite ways to make little S-turns. You can just use a single one to knock yourself off onto a 45-degree angle, right? So you can start building at an angle, which helps make your cave look more organic and irregular. And then you can use them to transition into like this corner entrance piece here. So you go, this is also at a 45, so then you go back onto the clean square grid. So just with these 3 pieces, you can make all sorts of simple winding passages and the like. Yeah. But most people are going to want to get a little more advanced. Generally, the passages are going to be connecting various rooms and the like. So how do you get in and out of rooms? Well, one that we just looked at, you can use this corner entrance piece. That one works great, particularly with these 45-degree pieces. So you can then build a room here. You can also use the double door piece. This is the Caverns double door piece, like this. You can throw right up against the back of that thing and then start building a room here. And then we have 2 specialty pieces, which you'll probably use a lot for going in and out of rooms. That's what they're specifically designed for. So we have the widening passage here. And this is passage width on this side, and it's a full 4-inch width on this side. So you can line it up right up with your passages, and then from here you can build with your regular wall pieces. So you can start building with regular wall pieces. You can go open, boom, if you want to go like that into a bigger room. But this transitions you really nicely into a room. The other piece is, we call it the passage intersection, and I'll show you how that works also. This similarly will open into a room, same way, start building, etc. Yeah. These 2 pieces alone give you a whole bunch of options when combined with the rest. So you can put 2 of these things two of the same widening passages against each other to make a really cool curvy shape. You can do it the other way to make a slightly wider area in your caverns. If you want, you can use them to then introduce some of your regular wall pieces into the middle of your tunnel if you'd like. Maybe you want to put a door in there. Do something as such. These also play really nicely with the widening passages. This has a 45-degree curve. This terminates at 45 degrees this way. This one terminates at 45 degrees this way. So you put them together. It's a nice, cool 90-degree curve that keeps you then still on the clean grid. You can put two of these together to do like a really neat S-turn like such. And you can, the reason they're called passage intersection, you can use them like this to make a four-way intersection if you want. Suddenly you're going every which way. Boom, boom, boom. You can also just use one of them. You could replace a double door piece in there and then build off. This could either be another passage if you wanted, or you could use it to start building a room with standard tiles. Start building out a room, something. You could use some regular wall pieces if you wanted to put in a door or something, or a magnetic wall or whatnot. It's just a chance to do that. So this works really nicely opposite some wall pieces or the like. You can also, so now if you want to do a three-way intersection, like a Y intersection, you can use, there's a couple of cool things you can do. You can take this corner entrance piece, use that, would say we're going to come in there, boom, and then take one of these passage convex curve pieces, pop that in there, and suddenly we're doing a Y intersection, going three different directions. Why not? See what I did there? Another alternative to, in case you didn't want to use up all your 45 degrees to make a 90-degree turn, another alternative is to use, you can use the trifecta, large curve, and floor. And then this passage convex curve piece, drop that in there, and then you can build straight off that. Go from there, gives you a nice 90-degree curve. You also, maybe you want to do something that's a little narrower. You can transition using passage wall, outside standing wall pieces. So these are flat edged on the front. They're going to have metal tabs on the bottom. These are the Dungeon of Doom passage walls. We made these outside standing walls. They have a rigid metal tab on the bottom. So these will have similar. And the purpose of these, I'll show you with the Dungeon of Doom, is they sit under a floor piece and they create a passage. So you can do the same thing with these walls. We'll slide them under like such and like such, and you can put anything you want in the floor of your passage. So let's say we wanted to put a trapdoor in the middle of your passage. Bump, bump, bump. Boom, you got a trapdoor there. You can put a trap, and you change up whatever you have in there. This gives you some options. We have that whole floor piece, whatever. Lets you put whatever you want on the floor. This also, if you use these with our 2x1 floors, you can use these to make narrow passages, much like your caverns narrow passages. If you want to then go around a curve, you take, this is a trifecta curve and floor. You can do that, boom, boom. If you're a little persnickety about your builds and you don't like that 90-degree in there, you can pop in corner fill stalagmite. And then if you want to transition from this into a wider passage, you can use a swell wall. Let's do it over here. Use a swell wall and a couple of these 1-inch walls. Do something like that, and then go, boom, go off and build like such. Another option for four-way intersection, you can use this. You can use a pair of these convex curves and build off from there. Boom, bada, boom. There are so many possibilities with these passage pieces, and the idea is we want to just give you all the tools you need to make the most winding, organic, interesting feeling caverns that we can. And I'm very excited to see what you guys are going to do when you get these pieces in hand, because there are a lot of possibilities. That's it. Happy building.